Hello everybody, my name is Ariana Cristo, and this is going to be my final presentation for Professor Badger's Design 2 class. Our assignment was to identify a problem within our environment and to see how we could improve it. The problem I decided to focus on was the stigma against animation as a storytelling medium. The problem is that animation is almost always seen as only a form best suited for children's entertainment. And while children's entertainment is nothing to be ashamed of, it does cause people to think and see animation as simply childish and juvenile, when in reality, animation can be used for wonderful mature storytelling and artistic license and beauty. Big examples of what contributes to this idea being, of course, Disney, DreamWorks, Illumination, the YouTube's Kids channel is a big one, and I'd say the toy market. When people hear me say these things, they immediately go to, well, animation's not only for children. I mean, we have Family Guy, The Simpsons, American Dad, South Park, BoJack Horseman, which are all great examples, yes, but I think I'd say that animation is not really what this is focused on. If you look at the animation in Family Guy, it's barely animation. They barely move half the time. The issue with these shows is that they're more playing into the idea that the cartoon is being irreverent, as it plays into the idea that animation is only for children. So then we get animated adult TV, which doesn't have a lot of budget into the animation, but more so in the writing for the humor. I mention the toy market because I do believe the toy market does contribute to this idea. Toys are intended for children, so they base everything they sell off of children's entertainment, which just furthers the idea that animation is only suitable for children. You sometimes can find toys for adult things, but it's just not as common. YouTube Kids is a strange example, to say the least. YouTube Kids is an entire thing focused on profiting off children. It's low quality, low effort, and low budget animation that parents throw in front of their kids just because it's animated. I've heard the argument for these kinds of things as being, well, it's just for my kid. But that's kind of a odd statement, don't you think? You wouldn't say that about your child's doctor or your child's teacher. Everything about your child's life should be important for you to take into consideration. The solution we have is difficult to say the least, but there are avenues we can take to fix this issue. The solution is to allow creators and artists to make mature adult shows without having to rely on it being juvenile humor. Not to say that it can't be a comedy, but most of these big-name animated adult shows don't have much of a emotional story or tell any meaningful messages. It's all just adult humor. I think we need to let artists make art and market it that way. Adult Swim is a great avenue to start. They already have a lot of animation on their channel, and they do seem to appreciate it. And I do appreciate the work that goes into some of those shows, like Robot Chicken being a stop-motion animation show. That takes a lot of effort, and I think it could be done really well in a storytelling format. Another issue with people viewing animation as children's media is missing out on great adult animated movies. There's Isao Takahata's Grave of the Fireflies. It's a really emotional story about a Japanese brother and sister living through World War II. They deal with loss, they deal with poverty, they deal with starving. It's definitely meant for a much older audience. It's emotional, it's sad, it's happy sometimes, but it's a war. You can't be happy all the time. And most of the happiness stems from the older brother trying to make sure his little sister stays happy. Grave of the Fireflies is currently available on Hulu. I would recommend this movie to everybody who thinks that animation is only meant for children. It will really change your perspective. There's other movies like The Breadwinner, another war movie, directed by Nora Twomey, about Parwana, who is a girl who's living under Taliban rule in Afghanistan in 2001. It's beautifully animated and it's very emotional. It tells a very stressful tale that stems from a lot of harsh truths of living under Taliban rule in that time. There's the movie Loving Vincent, directed by Dorada Kobiela and Hugh Welchman. This, by far, I think, is the most visually impressive movie. It's an hour and 35 minutes of animation, and every single frame is in oil painting. It obviously took so much time and didn't get a lot of recognition. Seeing these examples, I think we're on a good path for animation. And you can tell in these movies that the directors and artists working on it liked what they were creating. You can tell in the way the characters move, in the way they're voice acted, and just all these different things. You can tell people wanted to be a part of these projects, which I feel like you don't see as much anymore. I implore you to check out some of these examples I've listed and tell me if you still view animation as a children's media. My name is Ariana Cristo, and this has been my final project. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.